Got to give the people, give the people what they want. Bass, I'm back. I even got a guest host up in here today. You'll see her in a second. But right now, I want you to write this down. Writing linear equations from a table. You know how to do this. So, this is a quick recap to make sure that you are ready for Monday, if it's 2018. I might use this again in 2027, you never know. So, if you remember, the equation of a line is of the form, a line has a basic form, y equals mx plus b. You've been seeing this for lots and lots of years. Miriam, come here. We got Miriam in the house. Say hi to the people.
Is that?
Yeah, that's the people right there. Cool, Miriam. Do you remember, what does M stand for in this equation?
Slope.
Oh, tell them.
Oh, slope. It means slope.
Yeah, M being your slope. Miriam, what's B?
Rate of change.
No, the rate of change is totally the slope though. That's another word for slope, is rate of change. But what's B?
Y equals?
It's so close. It's the y-intercept.
Yeah, what he said.
I love that you were doing this. Alright, B is the y-intercept, also known as your starting point. Miriam, say bye. She'll be back in a second.
Bye-bye.
Alright,
Okay.
I'll have you back in a second. So, right, that's stuff just to remember. You guys probably know this, but it's a quick recap. Other thing I want you to remember is we have to know a little bit more about the slope or the rate of change. We called it rate of change more often. The rate of change is change in y over the change in x. That's the delta, it means change. Fair enough. All this is recap, which is why I'm not going super deep into it. So let's say that you have a table like so. So you should be copying this table down into your notebook. Simple table, it's going to have x, we're going to have y, negative 9, negative 10, negative 3, negative 6, 0, negative 4, 6, 0. We'll go there. Alright, so you have that table. I want you to write the equation of the line that goes with this table. A bunch of you will remember this and you already know how to do it. But in case you don't remember, this is your refresher. There are two pieces of information that you need to get from this table. You need the slope or the rate of change, you gotta get it from here. And you need the starting point, the y-intercept. Also gotta get it from here. So let's talk about the rate of change first. Find the rate of change and see, well, what's the difference? How do I find the change in y? I look at how my y values are changing. So to go from a negative 10 to a negative 6, I go plus 4. To go from a negative 6 to a negative 4, I go plus 2. To go from negative 4 to a 0, I go plus 4. I add 4. Okay? You're looking at this, you're like, oh man, these rate of changes are different. You're right, they are. But we're going to notice something that's going to make that all right. I got to find my change in y, but I also need to find my change in x. Well, to go from a negative 9 to a negative 3, what's that? Plus 6. Negative 3 to a 0 is plus 3. And 0 to 6 is plus 6. Oh man, look at that. Once again, my rate of changes are different. But I'm noticing that rate of change is a ratio, it's a fraction, it's y compared to x. Well, if I do this change in y compared to the change in x, this becomes, what is that, 4 over 6. If I do this change in y and change in x, this becomes 2 over 3. And if I do this one, it also becomes 4 over 6. But what do we notice about these fractions? Miriam, do you notice anything about these fractions? No, she doesn't. But I notice something about these fractions. They're all the same. These are all equivalent fractions. 2/3 is the same as 4/6. If I simplify 4/6 by 2 over 2, I see that 4/6 is the same as 2/3. So, though these are different kind of intervals, they all have the same rate of change. Whether you call it 2/3 or 4/6, their rate of change is the same. I'm going to call it 2/3. So right now, so far for this one, I know that in this equation of y equals mx plus b, that my rate of change, the first thing I need to know, m, my slope, is 2/3. Well, shoot, I only need one more thing. I'm good to go. I just need to find what's missing, Miriam. If I know a rate of change, what else do I need to know? It's only one more thing. Come on, say it. What are the two things?
The slope and y-intercept.
Yes! The y-intercept, she says, from the background. That is exactly what else I need. My y-intercept is my starting point. There's one thing that hopefully you remember about the y-intercept. What is the x value of every y-intercept? Miriam's looking at me like, I don't remember the x value, but I do. If you have a y-intercept, the x value is always 0. It's the starting point. So when x is 0, where does y start? So I can often find it straight from my table. X isn't 0, x isn't 0. Oh, snap. Right here. Y-intercept. When x is 0, y is -4. So all of a sudden, I just figured out that my y-intercept is -4. And now, I've written the equation of my line. It's one way to do it. There are other ways to do it, but I wanted to make sure that you had a refresher. Miriam, come here. Bring the Cheez-Its with you. I mean, why not? Why don't we just eat on film? What? Throw them up. Throw them up to the people. Cheez-Its, you know, we eating snacks over here.
Like, throw it up, like.
No, don't do that. All right. So, for Mr. Bass, for Miriam, do you have any parting words? No, she doesn't. It's been a good one. Write your notes. We're out.
Bye. Is that it?
Yep.